What's up, foodies? Father's Day is usually when someone offers to cook for me, but honestly, I kind of want to be the one cooking because when you're doing steak, I want to do it my way. Today we're making a steakhouse style ribeye at home, right in the pizza oven, and finish it with a herby, garlicky chimichurri that pairs perfectly with the richness of the steak. The pizza oven is what makes this work so well. You're hitting around 850 to 900 degrees Fahrenheit, way hotter than your kitchen stove. And that's the kind of heat they use in places like Ruth Chris's, Peter Luger, and Gibson Steakhouse. Those big broilers hit 1000 to 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's how they get that deep crust while keeping the inside buttery. We're doing the same thing here with a wood-fired pizza oven and a lot more flavor. And if you don't have a wood-fired pizza oven, you can use a gas-fired pizza oven as well. This is steakhouse quality, but done your way. This video is sponsored by Kiln, but more about them later. So let's get into it. Start with a good quality ribeye. I'm using one that's about 1.5 inches thick to 2 inches. Bone in or boneless works, just look for one that has nice marbling. You want those streaks of fat running through the meat. That's what keeps it juicy and gives it a nice flavor when it's cooked. Now I salted this bad boy last night with some kosher salt on all sides and left it uncovered in the fridge overnight on a wide rack. Now a dry brine pulls a bit of moisture out at first, but then pulls the salt back in with it. So you end up with a steak that's seasoned right to the center and helps build a better crust. It's simple, but it really changes the final result. If you've never done it, give it a try and you'll see. Now before it hits the heat, let it sit out for about 30 minutes so it's not fridge cold. I don't add any pepper right now. At this temp, it can burn and turn it bitter. We'll save that for later, once it's rested and ready to slice. Alright, first things first, let's get your pizza oven going. You want it climbing up towards that 850 to 900 degree range. This takes a bit to heat up, so while that's working, let's build the chimichurri. Now I like to make my chimichurri by hand, just knife in a bowl. This is how we're going to keep the texture of the chimichurri. Each ingredient stays a little bit more distinct and you actually taste what's in it. Now start with a big handful of parsley and chop it down till it's fine. Then go in with 1 tablespoon of chopped chives. It's not traditional, but I love that oniony sharpness they bring. After that, finely dice a small shallot and sprinkle in about 1 tablespoon of chopped fresh oregano. Once all that's in the bowl, drizzle in half a cup of olive oil and the zest of 1 lemon. Not the juice, just the zest. It's going to add a brightness without making the chimichurri too acidic. Grate in a couple cloves of garlic, then add your chili. I usually go with a half a fresh chili mince, but the store was out, so I'm using half a teaspoon of crushed chili flakes today. It still gives you the heat, which is a little different punch. Then finish it off with 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar and a good pinch of salt. Stir it up, give it a taste, and adjust for any seasonings, and that's it. Sharp, herby, a little spicy. It's going to help cut right through the richness of that steak. Today I'm using my chef's knife from Kiln, today's sponsor. They're a Canadian company, which I love. The knife feels great in my hand. It's made with German steel, has a curved blade that makes chopping feel smooth, controlled, especially for stuff like herbs and shallots. It's got a full tang with a great balance. It's one of my knives I always keep reaching for without even thinking about it. They even back their knives with a lifetime warranty, so you know they stand behind what they're making. I'm also using the Klein cutting board too. It's solid echinacea wood and it's got that groove around the edge so I don't have steak juice running all over my counter. I mean, haven't had that happen before. It's sturdy, it's not too heavy, and it's easy on your knives too, which is a huge bonus. You can check out more about them in the link in my description. Once your oven's sitting around 850 to 900 degrees Fahrenheit, you also want to get your cast iron ripping hot as well. Preheat your pan for a good 10 minutes before the steak hits it. Toss your steak onto the preheated cast iron pan. I like to start with the bone side facing the flame. It acts like a little buffer and helps protect the meat from overcooking on that side too fast. Now flip your steak every 30 to 45 seconds. It's going to give it a more even cook and it's going to prevent one side from burning as you gradually build up the crust. Each flip gives the surface a second to cool before it hits the heat again. So you end up with a nice even sear. And when the heat's this high, you gotta stay on it. Things move fast, so you gotta make sure you keep flipping that steak. I'm gonna pull mine at 130 degrees Fahrenheit for medium. With the carryover while it rests, that'll put it right where I want it. Unpopular opinion, medium's perfect for a ribeye steak. I actually think medium works better for a rib steak like this. You get all that fat running through the meat, and just going past medium rare gives it time to render properly. If you take it out too early, some of the fat stays chewy and you kind of miss what makes this cut so special. Medium gives you a warm pink center, still juicy, but with the fat melting into every bite. It just eats better, especially off a hot pan in a pizza oven. If you like it cooked more or less, just pull out your desired temp, but keep flipping. You don't want one side to scorch. Once it's removed from the pizza oven, cover it with foil and let it rest for 10 minutes. And make sure you don't skip this step. And that's when all the juices settle back into the steak instead of spilling out onto the cutting board the second you cut it. Once it's rested, go ahead and cut the bone off. Set it aside or gnaw on it later if you're like me. Then just slice the steak up and spoon that chimichurri right over the top. Some people like to dip their steak, but I'm all for soaking and dipping. Double whammy. Every piece should get a bit of that delicious sauce. The garlic, the herbs, a little heat, the vinegar, it all cuts through the richness of that steak. You got that beautiful crust we made, the fat, the sauce soaking in. It's the kind of bite that makes you stop talking and just enjoy the moment. I don't need a fancy reservation or overpriced sides for Father's Day. And if you end up making this, let me know how it went. Did you use the pizza oven, the cast iron pan? Was the chimichurri too much or was it just right? Drop a comment below. I want to hear how yours turned out. And if you like this video, give a thumbs up, a subscribe down below, and until next time, FOOD-DEE out.